It's not the future that's coming. It's already here. You can feel in the hum of a city still half-built, where cranes the skyline like exclamation points, in the glow of smart streetlights, in startup cafes running on solar and ambition, in neighborhoods designed for people, not traffic. Somewhere out there, a place you've barely heard of is quietly evolving into the next big thing. These aren't yesterday's hotspots. They're tomorrow's headlines. Cities where innovation isn't a buzzword, it's a blueprint. They're rising fast and they won't wait. So let's explore the 15 most futuristic boomtowns in the US to move in before it's too late. And if you're wired for what's next, go ahead and subscribe, because the future favors the early movers. Number 15, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Welcome to Sioux Falls, where your paycheck stretches longer than a prairie horizon. Long overlooked, this once flyover punchline has quietly evolved into an economic powerhouse. Finance, healthcare, biotech, and yes, even tech startups are thriving here, thanks to low taxes, business-friendly policies, and rent prices that don't require organ donation. But it's not just dollars and data. Sioux Falls is soul, a lively downtown, breweries blooming like spring wildflowers, an art scene that's refreshingly unpretentious. Sculpture Walk turns the city into an open-air gallery, and strangers still say, "Good morning," like it's not a relic from a better past. Sure, winters are no joke, but neither is the 12% lower cost of living or those glorious heated skywalks. Cozy up, because comfort here doesn't come at a premium. In a world full of loud cities trying to be something else, Sioux Falls is quietly becoming everything. Curious what city you think is next? Drop it in the comments. Number 14, Huntsville, Alabama. If NASA trusts Huntsville to launch rockets, maybe it's not crazy for you to launch your next chapter here. This one sleepy southern town has become a serious tech hub, home to aerospace giants, defense contracts, and more brain power than you'd expect per square mile. But here's the twist. It's not just engineers and rocket fuel. Huntsville also serves up indie art, southern charm, and a cost of living that won't make your wallet cry. Low mill ARTS and entertainment proves creativity thrives in unexpected places. And here's the kicker. Huntsville is still affordable. While home prices have crept up, they haven't skyrocketed. Median home prices here are nearly half of Austin's. So yeah, you can still get a yard, a garage, and maybe even a garden without needing VC funding or a trust fund. If you like smart cities with soul, go ahead and like this video. You're among friends. Number 13, Boise, Idaho. Boise was once a whisper on the wind. Now it's a city with a voice, and people are finally listening. While other boomtowns lose themselves in their own hype, Boise grows with grace. Tech moves in, but the mountains still breathe. Breweries thrive, but the river still flows. It's progress without erasure, modernity without the meltdown. Of course, with popularity comes price hikes. Boise isn't the bargain bin it once was. But relative to other boomtowns, it's still within reach, especially if you're coming from San Francisco and consider anything under $800,000 adorable. Just don't tell your friends. Or do. Just make sure you get there first. It's a place where neighbors wave, trails begin downtown, and life doesn't feel like a spreadsheet. Somehow, Boise balances edge and ease, growth and groundedness. If you're chasing places with future and a soul, hit subscribe, as Boise might just be your next great idea. Number 12, Spokane, Washington. Spokane is the underdog with a killer comeback arc. You might think of Seattle when you hear Washington, but don't sleep on its scrappy inland cousin, once dismissed as a post-industrial husk. Spokane is shaking off the rust and putting on something a little more tech casual. The transformation isn't superficial, it's structural. Spokane's economy is diversifying fast. From healthcare and education to aerospace and logistics, the job market is broadening like it's been taking self-help seminars. And because it's still relatively off radar, the cost of living hasn't gone bonkers yet. But Spokane's real flex is quality of life. Imagine skiing in the morning, fly fishing by lunch, and sipping a craft cocktail at a historic downtown bar by dinner. You're surrounded by natural beauty that punches you in the face with how accessible it is. But you're also not in the middle of nowhere. Spokane has music festivals, farmers markets, and a low-key but growing art scene that doesn't try too hard. Still skeptical? Here's a stat. Spokane is one of the top 10 fastest-growing cities in Washington, and real estate investors are already circling like hawks. The window of opportunity? It's narrowing. Spokane's moment is now, but it won't be this affordable or undiscovered for long. Number 11, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga isn't just a fun word to say. It's a fascinating city to live in, once labeled one of America's dirtiest cities. It pulled the ultimate redemption arc and became a model for environmental innovation and smart infrastructure. This place has gigabit internet that makes Silicon Valley jealous, an outdoor playground that makes weekend warriors weep. Yes, Chattanooga has the internet, not just fast internet, blisteringly fast. Like, download a season of Netflix before you finish blinking fast. That's thanks to the city's investment in municipal fiber years before it was cool. Add to that a low cost of living and no state income tax, and you got a startup ecosystem that's sprouting like dandelions in spring. The city is weird in the best way. You'll see rock climbers at gas stations, hipsters brewing kombucha next to Civil War reenactors, and techies coding on mountaintops. It's a cultural jambalaya that shouldn't work, but somehow it tastes just right, and it's not just for young nomads. Families are moving here in droves, drawn by good schools, safe neighborhoods, and enough nature to raise feral children in the best way. Chattanooga's future is broadband bright, and it's calling your name. Number 10, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Let's get one thing straight. Fayetteville is not the Arkansas you think you know. This isn't banjos and moonshine, though you can find those if you know the right porches. This is tech corridors, startup incubators, and a rapidly transforming downtown that looks more like a miniature Portland than anything from Deliverance. Why? 2 words, Walton money. Thanks to the deep pockets of the Walmart empire headquartered just up the road in Bentonville, Fayetteville has become the beneficiary of billion-dollar investments in infrastructure, arts, and education. The University of Arkansas helps fuel the brain power, and suddenly, you've got an ecosystem where young professionals are sticking around instead of fleeing to the coasts. But this place isn't turning into some sterile tech compound. It's still gloriously Arkansas. The Ozarks are right there. You can kayak before breakfast and hit a food truck court for lunch. And the locals? Friendly in a way that makes you suspicious at first, but eventually just warms your cold, urbanized heart. If you're looking for that sweet spot between culture and cost of living, Fayetteville's got it. Just don't be shocked when it's the next Asheville or Boulder, and you realize you could have had a 4-bedroom with mountain views for the cost of a Los Angeles parking space. Number 9, Provo, Utah. Welcome to Provo, where the mountains are majestic, the tech is booming, and the caffeine is optional. Yes, it's a little clean. Yes, it's got a heavy Mormon influence. But beneath that squeaky clean exterior is a quietly raging innovation engine nicknamed Silicon Slopes. Provo is the heartbeat of Utah's tech rise. Big-name startups and unicorns are sprouting up like wildflowers, and major players like Adobe and Qualtrics call the area home. The talent pipeline from BYU doesn't hurt either. Smart kids, ambitious ideas, and an ecosystem that actually knows how to nurture them. Plus, there's a certain clarity that comes from being able to see the stars at night. Now let's talk nature. Provo is cradled by the Wasatch Mountains like a warm, scenic hug. Hiking, skiing, snowboarding, paddleboarding, you name it, it's 20 minutes away. It's like having a national park in your backyard, without the tourist herds and $30 entrance fees. Provo isn't perfect. It's conservative, homogeneous, and dry in every sense of the word. But for the right kind of person, it's a dream. A place where you can build wealth, raise kids, launch startups, and still make it to the top of a trailhead before sundown. Number 8, Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville is the kind of place where you stop for gas on a road trip and end up staying for a decade. Tucked in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, it's quietly become one of the most livable, lovable small cities in the country. Without bragging about it, downtown Greenville is a case study in how to do revitalization right. Walkable streets, waterfalls in the city, outdoor concerts, art galleries, and enough restaurants to make your food app sweat. It's charming without being cheesy, sophisticated without being smug. A city that knows how to dress up on Friday night, but still mows its own lawn on Saturday. The economic base here is strong, diversified, and surprisingly international. Michelin and BMW have major presences, and the manufacturing sector hums alongside a growing startup scene. Add in a regional airport that actually functions, and you got a city that punches way above its weight class. The secret's out, but not too far out. You still have time to slide in before the next wave of city chasers arrives with their kale smoothies and property portfolios. Greenville is that rare combo of affordability, beauty, and momentum, and it won't stay underpriced for long. Number 7, Reno, Nevada. Forget the jokes about divorce mills and slot machines and gas stations. Reno is not Las Vegas weird cuz anymore. It's Silicon Valley's escape hatch, a high-desert boomtown where tech exiles and startup cowboys are building something new in the shadows of the Sierras. Tesla, Google, Apple, they've all staked claims nearby. And it's not just big names. The startup scene here is heating up like the pavement in July. With no state income tax and a regulatory environment that lets you move fast and break things without needing 12 permits, Reno is attracting entrepreneurs like moths to a neon flame. But it's not all hustle. Reno is also about mountains, lakes, and freedom. Lake Tahoe is just a short drive away, and so are a million trails, ski resorts, and Instagrammable summits. It's a place where you can work hard, play harder, and maybe even find some spiritual clarity between Red Bull-fueled hackathons. The nightlife is still gritty, but it's got charm. Dive bars where you can actually hear the band. Coffee shops that double as co-working spaces. A main street that's not just chain stores and sadness. Reno's not just rising, it's evolving into something weird, wild, and kind of wonderful. Number 6, Des Moines, Iowa. Yes, it's Des Moines. Yes, the name sounds like a punchline, but this Midwest stalwart is quietly becoming one of America's best places to live. If you like your life stable, smart, and shockingly affordable, Des Moines is a sleeper hit. It's ranked high in everything from job growth to homeownership rates to quality of life, and yet it rarely gets the spotlight. Maybe because it's not flashy, but beneath that corn-fed exterior is a city firing on all cylinders. Insurance and finance are big here. So is agritech. There's a solid start community, good public schools, and a workforce that still believes in showing up on time. Culturally, Des Moines is low-key vibrant. A strong art scene. A calendar full of festivals that range from wholesome to weird. And a downtown that's gone from tumbleweeds to tacos and techies in less than a decade. It's the kind of place where you can afford to try things without betting your life savings on rent. Des Moines isn't trying to be the next big thing. It's just trying to be great. And honestly, that makes it one of the most compelling options on the list. It's calm, competent, and criminally underrated. Number 5, Columbus, Ohio. Columbus is having a glow-up, and it's not subtle. The capital of Ohio is now a full-blown innovation hub. Thanks to a booming education sector, Fortune 500 companies, and a tech community that's getting more VC attention than a Shark Tank pitch in a sequin blazer. Ohio State is the beating heart of the city, supplying not just football hysteria, but a steady stream of talent and research. Healthcare, logistics, fintech, they're all scaling here. And Columbus has what a lot of other cities don't. Space. Room to grow, room to breathe, room to build something. But it's not just business. The Short North Arts District has gone from hidden gem to headline act, and the city's food scene is punching above its weight. Breweries, coffee roasters, pop-up restaurants. It's got range. Columbus is diverse, young and driven, not flashy, not trying to be Brooklyn, just trying to be the best version of itself. And here's a wild stat. Columbus is the only major Midwest city to gain population every year since 1950. Think about that. While others shrank or stagnated, Columbus kept growing. That's not an accident. That's momentum. Number 4, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison isn't just a college town. It's a smart town. A brilliant town, actually. One of those rare places where politics, progress, and Pabst Blue Ribbon all live in uneasy but productive harmony. Anchored by the University of Wisconsin, this city runs on brains and bikes and brats. And increasingly, it runs on tech. Madison's tech sector is quietly booming. Thanks to a stream of talent from the university, low operational costs, and a city government that doesn't throw wrenches at innovation. Epic Systems, the healthcare software giant, calls Madison home, and it's only the tip of a very lucrative iceberg. The startup scene here is fresh, energetic, and slightly weird in that good Midwestern way. But let's talk vibes. Madison has 2 lakes for seasons, and a farmer's market that feels like a cross between Purdue's Paradise and a First Date Factory. You'll find street musicians playing Bach on the cello, activists holding homemade signs, and cheese curds so good they make you question your life choices. It's green, it's progressive, it's just the right amount of crunchy. Housing prices have started to climb, but this isn't Chicago or even Minneapolis. You can still buy a house, still get a seat at the bar, still feel like a local within 6 months. Madison is growing, but it's not growing away from what makes it special. Not yet, anyway. Number 3, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Colorado Springs is like Denver's chill younger sibling who lifts weights, climbs mountains, and somehow always has their thing together. While Denver wrestles with its own rapid growth chaos, Colorado Springs is hitting its stride, and more people are paying attention. The military presence here is strong. Think NORAD, the Air Force Academy, and enough defense contractors to make a spy blush. But there's more than just government money. Cybersecurity, aerospace, and tech are growing fast. The city's economy is diversifying in ways that make its once conservative sheen look a little more entrepreneurial these days. And then there's the lifestyle. You're nestled up against the Rockies, minutes from Garden of the Gods, and just a hop away from some of the most epic skiing in the country. Nature here isn't a backdrop. It's the main character. Colorado Springs offers outdoor access without Denver's traffic, without its price tag, and without its weight. This brunch is how much syndrome. The word's out, and the city's trying to manage its growth carefully. But if you want mountain views, economic opportunity, and a sense of community that doesn't come with hipster judgment, you might want to get here yesterday. Number 2, Tampa, Florida. Tampa, the Florida city that somehow avoided becoming a punchline. While Miami gets all the hype and Orlando drowns in theme park chaos, Tampa has quietly become one of the hottest boomtowns in America. And it's not just retirees looking for early bird specials. It's entrepreneurs, techies, and families who figure out this might be Florida's golden child. Tampa's economy is on fire in the best way. Fintech, healthcare, and cybersecurity are growing fast. The port's booming, the airport's shockingly functional, and the job market is healthier than your uncle since he stopped eating gas station pizza. Add in no state income tax, and suddenly Tampa makes a lot of financial sense. But it's not just the numbers, it's the lifestyle. Tampa has beaches without the chaos, nightlife without the pretension, and a waterfront that's actually being used for public good. Riverwalk? Gorgeous. The heights? Buzzing. The food? Cuban sandwiches that could change your religion. Plus, there's a cultural stew here, Latin, Caribbean, Southern, that makes it one of the most interesting cities on this list. Sure, there's humidity and hurricanes, but if you can handle that, Tampa is offering a deal that won't last forever. This is Florida before the second wave of tech bros realizes it's cheaper and better than Austin. Number 1, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Wait, Tulsa? Number 1. Yes, Tulsa, the city that's not just reinventing itself, but actively paying you to be part of the story. With the Tulsa Remote Program offering cash to remote workers who relocate. Tulsa isn't just hoping for a future, it's building one. And it's working. Tulsa has emerged as one of the most ambitious and surprisingly progressive mid-sized cities in America. It's pouring millions into arts, infrastructure, green space, and small business incubators. The Gathering Place, a $465 million public park, feels like something out of a utopian sci-fi film. Only it's real, and you can bring your dog. Culturally, Tulsa is rich. Jazz history runs deep, and so there's a growing indie music and art scene. The city honors its past, grapples with its history, and is unafraid to look forward. It's not trying to become Brooklyn or LA or anywhere else. It's becoming a better Tulsa. And that's the most magnetic part. But here's the real kicker, affordability. You can still buy a gorgeous craftsman home for what a broom closet costs in San Jose. You can still walk into a coffee shop and feel like a person, not a transaction. Tulsa is welcoming, energetic, and on the cusp of something remarkable. So the question isn't why would you move to Tulsa? It's why haven't you already? Here's the thing. Boomtowns aren't just about economics or square footage or taxes. They're about energy, vibe, momentum. They're where the American dream is being rebooted, maybe with less picket fence and more fiber optic cable, but still very much alive. You could stay where you are. Keep grinding. Keep watching rent rise like a thermometer in July. Or you could leap. Start fresh. Stake your claim in a place that's still becoming. These 15 cities, they're not just growing. They're becoming. And so can you. Move here before it's too late.